Oh, good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Good morning.
Boy, I'll tell you, the weeks are just flying by. I won't even tell you how few weeks there are left till Christmas, because I'll make you crazy.
But,
it's getting there.
Well, but we have just a teeny bit over 4 weeks till fall. Can you believe that?
Oh my gosh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, today's the 18th.
I'm ready for the cooler weather. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I love these shirts, but I wouldn't mind wearing some long sleeves again, so especially down here.
Well, welcome to a visit with Santa and Mrs Claus. We're so glad that you could join us this morning.
And we hope you're going to share and start watch parties. And I'll tell you what, we're gonna make you feel a little bit better about yourselves today, because we got a very special guest.
I think
and a very interesting company that we're going to talk about this morning.
And it's a topic that really involves all of us. So I think you will find this very interesting. And of course, as always, we're live, as you can see, on Facebook, but we're also live on YouTube and Roku.
But anyway, the guest we have today is very interesting. I mean, her name is Kristin Wayne, and she is we call her a marketing manager for the Sevier solid waste management company. But what you're going to go, really? We're going to talk about garbage? Yes, because
we all have it.
We all make garbage. Yeah. I mean, and
we all do.
And a lot of us just toss it and forget it.
Yep.
And you're going to find out that, and here again, everybody's talking about saving the planet and trying to do good things for our own environment.
Right.
And this lady's got some answers for us.
Yeah.
And a company that really is doing
some very remarkable,
very cutting edge
things that we'll find out that really is one of the few in the country doing this, believe it or not. That's kind of hard to believe in this little area. You think of all the places
in the country there are, and all the metropolitan areas and all the areas that generate just tons and tons, hundreds of tons of waste.
Yes.
And yet, believe it or not, the Smoky Mountains is one of those, because we have the most visitors of any national park in the country.
So actually, even though this is a small area, it's certainly not densely populated like many other areas, but because we have so many people coming in every day, and like we said, that's just part of life, is that garbage is produced. So
without any further ado, go ahead, Mrs. Claus. I'll let you introduce our guest this morning.
So, Kristen, welcome.
Thank you.
And please tell us a little bit about what you do and your job title, and what you focus on for Sevier County Waste.
Yeah, I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator for Sevier Solid Waste. I'm an AmeriCorps member, so I have an 11-month term with them where I serve at the facility. So basically, my job is just to get our information out to the public, to the community, what we do at our facility, what's allowed at our facility, and just anything residents need to know about waste in Sevier County.
Wonderful. Well, and you guys are doing things that are just basically unheard of in other parts of the country, and I think people are going to be amazed at how strong Sevier solid waste is getting rid of a lot of our trash.
One of the things that you do that's so different than other facilities, and let's kind of start with that, is the composting. So you actually, and let me just lay the groundwork, that they divert 70% of the waste through recycling and composting, which is really unbelievable. I mean, hats off to them, because they really 70% is a huge amount. So let's talk about the composting, because that's a little bit more unusual, I think, for a lot of people that they may not be as aware of. So what is involved with a composting cycle?
Right. So first step is collecting the waste. So we collect waste from, or we receive waste from the 3 cities in Sevier County, from Sevier County, and then we also collect waste from the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And all that waste comes to our facility and is dropped off on the tipping floor. Tipping floor is like kind of where everything starts. We mix everything together, and then it's pushed into the digesters. So that's kind of the first stage of
Explain what a digester is,
down.
because, you know,
Yes.
I mean, everybody's going to sit there and think, oh, yeah, I got a digester. It works pretty well. And, yeah, it kind of composts everything.
You know, yeah, it's very similar to the digester that you have. It kind of just, not in the sense of what it looks like, because it's just a large cylinder that rotates.
When you say large, I mean, it looks like you can drive a car through this stuff.
Yes.
I mean, that's how big these things are.
They are very big, and we
Massive.
have 5 of them. We don't
5,
run.
you're up to 5.
We have 5, yes. We usually run around about 3 at a time, so we're not running all of them. They take a lot of energy to run. But yes, they're very big, which is helpful because we receive around 300 to 600 tons of waste each day. So we handle a lot of waste.
Wait, slow down. 300 to 600
Tons, yes.
a day.
Yes, we receive a lot of waste.
Let's see if my math is right. That's about 12,000 pounds.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of waste. And that...
In case you're wondering how many people come to the Great Smoky Mountains, there's your answer. Enough to generate, you know, into the tens of thousands of tons a day.
I know. That's hard to really.
That's hard to fathom.
Get your mind around. Yeah.
It is a lot of trash. And that fluctuates depending on the time of year and how many tourists we have in the area.
Of course.
Yeah.
And just as when we're talking about the composting, this is the more garbage that you use out of your home, your restaurant, food waste.
Yes.
That's the kind of waste that's being composted. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And what makes Sevier Solid Waste so unique from other composting facilities is that we compost all of the waste together. So even the material that isn't compostable or wouldn't break down naturally, we compost in with the compostable.
So in other words, you fill a garbage truck, and that garbage truck dumps everything that you put in those cans or boxes or whatever they collect, and you don't separate anything. You just put it all in the digester, and the digester naturally, over the course of, I believe it's 3 days?
3 days, yes.
3 days, will turn this and start to sort out all the stuff that shouldn't be in there. Is that correct?
Yes. Basically what happens in the digester is, yes, the organic materials, it's like your food waste, cardboard, paper, stuff like that, will start to break down. And anything that isn't, like metals, glass, plastic, that would just stay metals, glass, and plastic. It gets really dirty because of all the other waste in there. And then, yeah, so once it comes out, you have your residual materials, which is anything that doesn't break down, and then you have the beginning of compost, so the material that's broken down and is unrecognizable now.
And the stuff that doesn't break down, like the plastics and the glass?
Glass is included, yes.
And, you know,
Metal.
And metal, of course. Now, you put that aside, and then that goes into, is it a class 3, or does it go into, like, recycling, or what do you do with all of that?
So right now, we have all of our residuals go to our demolition landfill.
And you blow it up.
We blow it up. No, we don't do that. No. It goes to our demolition landfill and we follow the state guidelines.
Oh, okay.
But
I like my idea better.
might not be as environmentally conscious as we're looking for, but
well.
Our end goal is to recycle these materials because they are recyclable. But we are kind of in the process of finding out how we're going to do that right now.
Gosh, where would you send all that aluminum?
We actually have just built a recycling facility, or recently built a recycling facility. So it is up and running, but we aren't actually using it right now. We're still trying to work out the details.
Work out the bugs.
Yes. Work out the bugs and find a market for our aluminum, because right now it's a little tricky, but we have that project in the works. We're hoping to get it open soon.
You would think with Alcoa so close, they would take a good portion. Do they take any of it or some of it? Or?
I know the recycling that we have in Sevier County, because we have 2 recycling centers in Sevier County, that goes to Knoxville.
Okay.
The recycling facility in Knoxville.
Okay.
That's as far as I know, but
all right.
it's
then the plastic, I mean, everybody's complaining about plastic right now. It's a huge concern with all the plastic water bottles and that kind of thing. What happens with that? Are you working on a recycling plan for that as well?
So that would kind of fall into the same process as the aluminum with our recycling center. But that is even more complicated just because plastic is even less wanted in the recycling market. So aluminum is a little more of a hot commodity than plastic is.
Right.
So it just depends, and the recycling market kind of can fluctuate a lot. So it just depends on
just like
what people want.
Yeah, just like anything else, I suppose. You know But
getting back to the composting.
Yeah. So you actually are able, which is I still think a remarkable number. First of all, how many facilities like this composting are there in the United States?
I don't know of any that compost all of the waste together. There are plenty that just collects organic materials like yard waste and food waste and then compost that, but nothing like ours.
That actually separates it out,
So
and oh my gosh, so you're like the only one in the nation.
Yeah.
It's very unique, yes.
Yeah, it really is. And what a wonderful thing.
Well, and what's so great about this is, of course, once it's composted, and you're just giving away the compost, right?
Yeah.
We are,
I mean,
yes.
anybody pulls up and says, hey, I need a load of compost, and you basically provide it. Is that about right?
That is right, yes. The compost is free for anyone to come pick up and use.
And of course, you can use that in your gardens. You can use that,
just
for any reason you have. If you feel like planting trees, compost with the soil makes the trees take root so much faster.
This is really a wonderful thing because you can, the people here can use it.
Absolutely.
And so talk about the ability to know that your waste is being composted, and then you could go in and pick some up and plant gardens. So
yeah. So again, you're basically recycling all the trash you created.
It is
through the compost.
Yeah.
So boy, that is absolutely amazing. Now, can I ask what I think is a dumb question? Why don't more cities or municipalities or counties or whatever do this?
Right. Well, we actually do get a lot of visitors at our facility because people are interested in what we're doing and want to tour and find out if they can do it themselves. But what makes us unique is really our tourist industry. So because we have so many tourists coming in, we have a lot of restaurants open, we have a lot of food waste from that. And that just lets us, the majority of our waste stream in Sevier County is organic food waste that we can process and compost that.
So just basically because of all the tourists that that visit here, as well as the residents that live here, you're getting more organic waste than most cities would. And other cities would get like the plastics and the aluminums and all the other problems that, you know.
Right.
But like newspaper and that kind of thing, I guess, would be compostable.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but you would still think that there would be cities that would put at least one of these digesters in.
Especially, I would think, large cities. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it just seems like if this area can create so much garbage, even based upon tourists, that somewhere like, I don't know, Atlanta or Nashville or something like that, that it has a much larger population, that wouldn't just normally do that. So.
Right.
Well, and we've got a couple. Well, good morning, Sarah Smith. How are you? It's great to see you as well. No, we haven't gotten over to Gentry Mercantile yet. We've been a little busy flying all over the place, but we hope to get there very soon. But thanks for bringing that up. Yes. Now, I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a quick break?
Yeah, going to take a quick break.
We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll talk to Kristen some more. You know, this is your chance to give us some questions.
Yes.
And let us know what's on your mind about this. And, you know, by all means, it's a great way to find out what's happening in Sevier County and how they're generating all this stuff. So give us your thoughts, and we'll talk about it right here. So we'll be back in just a few moments. Thanks for visiting with us. Hello. You may recognize us from Mountain Fun Life TV show Story Time with Santa and Mrs Claus. And here are the stories that bring the TV show to life. The Santa's Elf series of children's books features wonderful rhyme and beautiful corner-to-corner illustrations and include a special message from Santa at the end of each story. I wrote the books, and Mrs. Claus did the artistry. Available in hard and soft covers, these books are available wherever great children's books are sold, or online or at our website, thenorthpolepress.com. There are 7 already published and more on the way. So pick up one or more of these books and read them to your kids today.
Parrot Mountain. This attraction has it all, whether you're 2 years old or 90 years young, with hundreds of beautiful tropical birds and thousands of flowers, plants, and trees. Folks who visited our park have said, "I've never seen this many birds in one place. This must be what the Garden of Eden was like. The most beautiful and peaceful place I have ever been. These gardens rival the best. The best value in the Smokies. You'll want to visit Parrot Mountain and Gardens. Call or visit us online. We'll see you there."
Right the door.
Welcome back.
See, that wasn't long at all.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of chatting, trying to figure out what's what over here. So, and we were able to ask Kristen a couple questions, and hopefully we'll answer your questions when we talk to her some more. So, okay, well, go ahead.
No,
Getting back to the different classes. There are different class landfills.
Right.
And I think our viewers would love to, what makes a class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, and
Right.
what goes into what, and what's really usable and what's not.
So the main landfills that we focus on or that I know about are really just the household waste landfill and then the demolition landfill. So the household waste, I believe, is a class 3. The demolition is class 4. So the household waste landfill would take essentially your household waste. It's right there in the name. So kind of the things that we're composting. So we don't really focus so much on our class 3 landfill, our household waste landfill, because that waste is coming to our facility and is being composted.
Yeah, so really you hardly use the class 3 at all.
Yes.
I mean, because so much of it is being turned into compost, which is amazing. I mean, that is just big.
Yes.
They got a landfill they can't even fill. So.
Yes, it's especially good because the household waste landfills normally have a lot more environmental problems connected to them when it comes to like leachate and just other problems like that. So we don't have to deal with that as much.
Okay, and then the
demolition. So obviously, it's not exactly what the name
Sounds.
Implies.
sounds implies. Yeah. So
No.
what is a demolition?
So the demolition landfill is where we send demolition waste, which is just like if you're tearing down your house, kind of that kind of material.
Oh, that kind of demolition.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if you raise a house, that's where it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, now,
So-
if I can, just for a second, that kind of brings up an interesting thing. You guys had a problem a few years ago with regard to the fires we had here. And oh my God, you guys like just filled the entire land. How did you deal with that?
It's very true. When the fire spread through the area, we had just a big uptick in amount of people bringing demolition waste. So we had to open up an emergency kind of landfill so that we could get that all sorted out. Yeah.
How long did it take to kind of bring it back to normal? That must have taken a couple of years, I would imagine.
I'm not sure. I know we filled up that demolition landfill very quickly with with waste. There was a lot of waste from those fires. Yeah. Yeah.
That had to be tough, and boy, and imagine trying to sort all that mess out, when it came through.
I know. I just.
Good heavens!
it's-
I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean
Well-
to get off on a different subject, but I just remembered that seeing a video about how much demolition waste did come in
Yeah.
to
Right.
that, and it literally just filled the landfill like that.
Yeah,
So,
it did. It did.
but anyway, we were talking about class 1, class 2, class 3.
So 1 and 2 we don't have here in Sevier County, and is that and I know you can't speak about that, but is that more for the larger cities, the 1s and 2s?
I would need to brush more up on my classifications of landfills. I do know that different states have different classifications.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not the same everywhere.
Oh, so it's not
Oh, it's
universal.
not across the board.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that certainly,
So
makes-
what they're talking about in Sevier, they may not be talking about in Atlanta. So,
Very
That's
true.
right.
Okay.
That's right. Well, and let's bring it a little bit more towards into Sevier County for those people that are watching that live around here. So what's some of the things that people should not be putting in their garbage? And is there another way to get rid of that stuff?
Right, yes. So because we have such a unique facility, we ask that residents keep certain things out of their waste. Items like ropes, hoses, demolition materials. So like if you have a big couch you're going to be throwing away, obviously don't throw it away with your household waste. Those kinds of things in our digesters will tangle up with all of the other waste in there, and create what we call hairballs, which is a funny word.
We know what those are.
We are having cats. We definitely know what a hairball is and what a mess it makes.
Yes, yeah, it's not great. So they end up blocking up our digesters and slow down our process, and can break our equipment. And you'll see if you go to take your waste to one of the convenience centers in the area, they have stickers on the dumpsters that say keep it out, and tell you explicitly what items are not allowed in those containers.
So like if they have like TVs, computers, couches, that kind of, where can they take that, or what do they do with that?
So it depends. One easy way for residents to find out where to take these materials is to check out our web tool or our app. So the web tool's on our website. It's on some of the cities' websites too. And basically, using the Waste Wizard, they can just type in what item they're looking for, and it will tell them where to take that. But
you're seeing the website on the camera right now, and you can get almost all of your answers going to seviersolidwaste.com. Okay.
And when you said the app, that's a good point. Now,
you got a new app, don't you?
Yeah,
we do. Yes.
Oh,
so very
tell
excited.
us about it.
Talk to us about the app.
Yeah. So we just released the app this January, and it's essentially the same as the web tool, but it's on your phone, and you can look up your waste collection schedule. So if you're a resident in one of the 3 cities, you can look up your waste collection schedule, and it will tell you when your household waste is going to be picked up that week. And you can also set reminders so you don't forget your trash day and you don't forget to put out your trash can. And then the residents can use the Waste Wizard too, to look up items and find out where to take them in the county.
Okay, so that'll even just break it down for you just like that, and you'll know exactly what to do with this stuff if you can't just throw it in the trash can.
Yep.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
And now you had mentioned you got some other things going on at Sevier Solid Waste, do you not? You got some new ideas that you guys are working on, or what's the next big steps that you're trying to accomplish?
Next big steps. For our facility in particular, we're working on kind of cleaning up our process and getting the best product possible. So I know we have a lot of problems with moisture in our waste, and that can kind of complicate the composting process. So we're working on ways to fix that problem and just get even better final compost material. And just continuing our education and outreach efforts, getting out to the county.
But you're doing a fine job, Kristen. Thank you very
you.
much. And and again, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to explain all this to our viewers. So but anyway, and as far as moisture goes, we should talk to David about how much rain we're getting.
Well,
lately. That certainly doesn't help matters. Captain Accurate, you got to tell us how to get rid of all this rain. So not everything gets wet. I got a few things composting right now that I don't want.
That's true. That's true.
But anyway, I'm sorry, continue. Some of the other things that you're doing, and like, for instance, do you go around to schools, or do you go around to, like civic organizations or that, and explain things, or can they get somebody from Sevier Solid Waste?
They probably could if they were interested in having someone talk. I have done some presentations to some of the local Kiwanis clubs or groups that are interested, but not so much the schools. Mostly Keep Sevier Beautiful. We'll go out to schools, and I believe they have some programs where they talk about our facility, but they definitely can reach out to Sevier Solid Waste if they're interested in learning more about what we do and having someone talk about that. Okay,
Keep Sevier Beautiful. What's the idea behind that? I mean, if you go to talk about that, what are you trying to tell people?
Keep Sevier Beautiful is the organization in Sevier County, and their kind of focus is just to keep our environment clean and keep it looking beautiful. So focusing on environmental efforts in the county, cleanups, stuff like that. Yeah.
And one of the, I'm going to bring this up because we do live in the largest national park area with the most visitors.
We do.
But one of the things, and come on people, it's simple. What you carry in, you carry out.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
you don't need to leave unnecessary trash there. You certainly don't need to make a mess of things and leave it for somebody else to clean up. Somebody else may not come along for a while. And really, if you pack any trash in or pack in any foodstuffs or certainly like plastic bags or plastic bottles, take it out with you. I mean, you'll find a trash can, I promise you, between then and the time you come home. You know, let's just be a little more sensible and let's be a little bit more protective of our national parks and almost any area you go to. State parks, that same rule applies.
Yes.
You know, don't go hiking on the trails and throw a bottle to the side and expect that it's just going to melt into the landscape. That doesn't happen very fast.
No, it really doesn't. And of course, you know, and as Santa said, you know, if you throw something off to the side, it may not be seen except by animals. And then the animal might get into it and then have something inappropriate. And, you know, so now you're doing, you know, harming animals. So it's a small thing sometimes, but it is. You know, if you bring it in, take it back out with you.
Yeah. You know, leave no footprints. Or leave only footprints, I guess, is the motto of that. But seriously, be a little more sensible about what you're doing with your trash. And for God's sake, don't be throwing it along the highways and that kind of thing for somebody else to clean up. No. I mean, you know, how would you like to pick up after yourself?
Yeah. Well, that's true. You wouldn't want somebody to drive by and throw their trash at you or on your property. But, well.
Boy, I'll tell you, you know, that's great. Now, so you got a couple minutes left. Can you give us any, instead of letting me beat up everybody, do you have some final words that you want to share with all the people out there as far as how to handle their waste and to be aware of what they've got?
Yeah, I think just it's a great thing that we have a composting facility in our area, but it's also good to be mindful of where your waste is going. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, right? So reduce is the first step in that. Where can you reduce your waste and put out less? And then reuse, where can you reuse your items? And recycle is kind of our job. We take care of that because we're recycling your food waste into compost. So yeah, just remember the 3 R's. And be mindful of what you're throwing away.
Well, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just going to say, thank you so much, Kristen, for joining us this morning. And I know this was a little different, but again, this is something that impacts our lives all the time. And wherever you live, whether it's here or in another state, we all are producing waste, and so it's nice to know what Sevier County is certainly doing.
And I'll take that one step further. For those of you who are in a different area or in a different state, talk to your leaders. I mean, there are solutions like what Sevier Solid Waste is doing, and there's no reason not to put these, processes into play.
That's right.
I mean, my gosh, with all the garbage that we're generating, we better find ways to get rid of a lot more than we're getting rid of right now.
That's right.
So again, I'll get off my high horse reindeer and and say, but really, we all need to be a little bit smarter about waste and the problems it causes, and whether that's your plastic bottles or your computers that no longer work, or if it's, your food waste. So be a little more mindful of what you're doing. So,
well, so now let's talk a little bit about, of course, you want to tune in to Mountain Fun Life. And tomorrow we have James Gilly and Jim Johnson and entertainment. You know, there's all kinds of stuff.
I mean, are you not just stunned at all the different groups and
yes,
all the
groups.
different talent
that they're able to come? Yeah,
I love Nashville. It's a beautiful city. But I gotta tell you, we can hold a lot to Nashville.
There's a lot around
there's
here.
There's a
Absolutely.
lot of great groups in Knoxville and East Tennessee. So
well, and then we have Rich Haley with sports on Friday, and then Captain Accurate on Mondays and Fridays to tell us what's going on weather-wise in this beautiful area.
And getting back to Rich, boy, I'll tell you, there's a lot of strange things happening with the sports. Yeah, is it on again, off again? You know, that guy. If you want to know what's going on, check in with Rich, because he'll let you know, and he'll keep you apprised as fast as we can learn it.
Yeah.
We'll get the information out to you. So, well, again, another interesting show.
Yeah,
wow, this was
we hope
Kristen's
you enjoyed
great.
it. And again, thank you for joining us. We appreciate very much you taking the time to be with us this morning, and have a good week, a safe week, and be kind.
And we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.